This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Jeff Gardner.
Welcome to another episode of the Good Neighbor Podcast. Today we have another good neighbor on, Chris Frechette of Bespoke Kitchen and Market. Chris, welcome to the show.
Hey, Jeff. How you doing? Thanks for having me.
Good, man. Yeah, I'm happy to get into it. Let's start right off at the top. What is Bespoke Kitchen and Market? What do you guys do?
So plain and simply, we're a restaurant, but I think we're a little bit more than just your average restaurant. We're a little bit unique in how we go about things. So we started right in the middle of COVID lockdowns. So we sort of designed our model around being able to elevate the takeout and delivery experience so you could get better food at home. There's a lot of pizza joints. There's a lot of, Chinese food, sushi, those kinds of things, and they're all good too. But we just thought we could offer better options. And so we decided to give it a whirl and see if we could improve the takeout and delivery, features. And there was this new kind of concept coming out with ghost kitchens and virtual kitchens and these ghost restaurants. It was sort of this unique thing that we wanted to sort of explore. So we did that. We created virtual brands, we call them, or virtual restaurants. We started with Pierogi Plus. And then we added Bespoke Bowls, and then we have two others, Bootleg Taco and Bangers Gourmet Franks. And those are all like featured on Uber Eats and Skip to Dishes and DoorDash and now our own online market. So we started with that. And then, once COVID lockdown started to ease up, we also, opened a dine-in space and tried to create a unique experience there where you could experience those virtual brands for dine-in, as well as an elevated dine-in experience. So trying to combine a whole bunch of things all together to be a little bit unique in that way.
It's very interesting. So I have a few questions because a lot of that is unique to me. I've never heard of a ghost kitchen before or a virtual brand, but let's talk about the now, because this is what you guys have now. So you have a brick and mortar location that I can walk into.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
It's called Bespoke Kitchen and Market. That's what's on our sign on Collier Street, downtown Barrie.
Oh, beautiful. Right there. Okay. So what can I expect walking there? What type of cuisine is it? What is the experience like for me?
Yeah. So when people ask what type of cuisine our restaurant is, that's the hardest question to answer because we have so much going on. So with the virtual brands, you have, when you dine in with us, you have so much options. So we have one menu, it's pierogies, and we take, what should be a simple food, pierogies, but we go crazy with it and we put some wild toppings on it, a Cajun BLT, a truffle and mushroom, a buffalo chicken, and we just we take pierogies to the next level. And then we did the same with bowls. So Bespoke Bowls is another one of our brands, and we took a dragon roll sushi roll, but we deconstructed it into a bowl so you can really enjoy it. And we have a bunch of different offerings there, and then we have Bangers, which is like hot dogs and sausages and chicken sandwiches. And then we have Bootleg Taco, which is not like, traditional Mexican tacos. We have like a chicken Big Mac taco, for example. So all sorts of wild, crazy things with the food. And again, just trying to take traditional style takeout or street food kind of concepts and elevating it a little bit and making it a little bit better. And then we also have the dine-in menu. That one's, we go even wilder with that. We try and stay trendy and unique and interesting, but it's all over the place. We have bao buns, we have bison sliders, we have cauliflower bites, we have all sorts of interesting things there.
Okay. So I like when you said you kind of leveling up typical street food. That's some of my favorite food. Okay. So do you guys do breakfast? I think
we don't. Yeah.
Okay. So I figured not. So let's just get that one right out of the way. But lunch and dinner. So when do you guys open up?
Oh, yeah, we're open at 11 for takeout and delivery, and 11:30 for lunch every day, 7 days a week. And then during the weekdays, we'll stay open till 11 midnight on the weekends. So the dine-in spot, we try and also add like a craft cocktail, wine kind of cozy atmosphere thing as well, so you can really enjoy all aspects of food and beverage and a really nice atmosphere. There's no pretense, but it's still high quality. It's still handcrafted. It's still, made with care and love. It's not like, stuff out of a box. So you get a really nice experience and all sorts of options and unique kind of flavors that you can throw together.
Okay, so to continue painting this picture, I can come there for like a romantic dinner with a girl. I can come there with the boys and get some of that, leveled up kind of the pierogies. Man, you got me when you said pierogies.
Yeah, man. Like you could sit down and enjoy like a really high-end, nice old-fashioned and a buffalo chicken pierogi or a chili cheese dog or something, or you can come, with the wife for, have a girls' night and have some like cool cocktails and espresso martinis and just some snacks. We do some great, like our dine-in menu, the B-side bar menu. That one is more like designed to be shareables and like community style eating, so that you can just kind of explore different fun foods.
So I like that. And are your tables, like sometimes people's businesses, restaurants, especially when I went to California, I never really saw this here in Toronto and Canada. I mean, Southern Ontario, anywhere in Canada, really, although I wasn't really looking for it. But all of their tables were like that communal table. Every food that they gave was meant to be shared. So is it like that, or do I have my own separate table for just me and the wife, or am I sitting with groups of people, no matter if I know them or not?
Yeah, so we have a little bit of both.
Okay.
Most of our tables are your own table, but we do have a couple of large tables. It's a small space. We only have 55 seats, I think, as it's currently set. But we have a couple of like 10-seater tables, and you'll end up sitting with strangers sometimes, depending on how busy we are and how things get organized. But yeah,
you know what?
We try and do both.
Yeah, before I had that experience, I'm like, no, I don't want this. I just want to go with my people, and that's it. And then I did it. And then we had shareables with strangers, and we got a little drunk, and it was pretty good.
Yeah.
So, you just open to these uncomfortable experiences. Sometimes it was uncomfortable for me, but many people are open to it, and it was a great time. And that's why when you started talking about these shareable meals, it's a pretty cool concept. So you guys are definitely a dine-in, fully functioning restaurant. It's not just takeout.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. So, but takeout and delivery is a big part. It's really just what you're offering at your dine-in that I can get to my house.
That's right. Yeah. And we try and be unique in both aspects. So when you're dining in, you get this cool experience where you have like 5 restaurants to choose from all in one. When you order for takeout or delivery, as long as you order from us on our restaurant marketplace online, you have 4 restaurants to choose from in one order. So, maybe the wife wants a deconstructed dragon roll bowl and you're looking for the pierogies, but you both get to experience that. Uber Eats, Skip the Dishes, DoorDash, they don't offer as much because the brands are separate and we have to do it that way. But yeah, it's better to order from us. But yeah, so no matter where, if you're eating us at home or you're enjoying our space in the brick and mortar place downtown, then you get like a unique experience in both places.
I like that. So if you could put it to us in a handful of words, like how do I want to ask this? I was going to say, what do you want to be known for? I think that is a pretty good question. Maybe a different version of that question is like, what do you want people walking away thinking after experience it? Or if I haven't been there yet, if I had exactly what you wanted me to have in my mind about Bespoke Kitchen and Market, what would that be to continue painting the picture for the audience?
Yeah, I think what we're after, you want me to give a short answer here. So I guess I like the words unique and fun and interesting and different. So like, I hope that those kind of are the sentiments that people get. But yeah, I think what we're after is giving a sense of hospitality and care and elevation to the product without this like weird pretense. Like, when you go to a fine dining restaurant, it's feels stuffy and there's rules, or like, even something simple like the keg or something, it feels like you have to put a shirt on and you have to act a certain way about the food just because it's good food or just because it's good drinks. And that doesn't make sense to us. We like, to have fun, to be relaxed and be yourself and enjoy company and be hospitable and have a party, but also get really high-end quality food and drinks. Like, why can't you have both? So that's kind of what I hope people are getting from us.
Awesome, man. And I know that each restaurant it's like, I was going to say, is there nothing like you guys out there? Are you unique? And I was thinking, while I was thinking of that question, it was almost like thinking of two things at the same time, that every restaurant is its own uniqueness. It's really hard to duplicate one restaurant, again, unless it's a franchise or something. And I imagine they even have difficulty doing that. But when I mean you guys are unique, it's like you have your Italian cuisine, you have your French cuisine, you have this, like, we get a good idea if we're going to a steak and seafood house what we should expect regardless of the brand. But it really seems like I've never heard of this concept before, that you guys are kind of a one-off. Is that what you're going for? Like, really different?
Yeah, honestly, I think that's a big part of what we're trying to do. One of our key values is innovation. We're trying to, explore what you can do with the restaurant business and with hospitality. I don't think that, I just think that restaurants have been done a gajillion times, and a lot of them are successful and great. And, Clinton and I both love going to restaurants and enjoying them, but I feel like there's more that can be done. You can like explore a little bit, or take the barriers down and see what kind of craziness you can get up to. And that's kind of what we're trying to do.
I like it. Man. We share the business story of the businesses that come on here. That's what we love to do, as we were talking about in the pre-show. But other facets of it, other parts of it, are the story of the human that we're speaking to, education points, so we can walk away learning something and increasing the quality of our life in some way. The story part of it really fascinates me. I look at every human being as this vast book that I try not to judge from just the cover or the title, flip through a few pages, see how I connect with them. And the story of entrepreneurs is fascinating to me. So I really like to ask, it's really a two-pronged question. What made you decide that food, in some way, the creation of it, was going to be something you were just going to pour effort into over a lifetime? I don't know how long you've been doing it, but I imagine you just start this. And then the second part, because I think this is a completely separate question, is what made you decide that not only were you going to pour effort into creating food, but so much so that you're going to go all in on opening a business? Because to me, that's all in. Any entrepreneur would say, we went all in to do this. I haven't been in the restaurant industry, but I have a number of friends who have either been servers, bartenders, or owners. And that really does seem like an all-encompassing version of entrepreneurship. It seems like they live there, especially the chefs. So what made you decide food is my thing, so much so I'm going to open up my own restaurant and go all in and do this as a profession?
Yeah, I mean, that could be a long-winded answer. First thing I'll say is it's not, I wouldn't say food is our thing or my thing. Okay. I would say it's more about hospitality and service and food and beverage as well. Like cocktails are a big part of what we do. Service and hospitality are a big part of what we do. And we try and think of that from top to bottom. So yeah, not to get too far into that, but I just wanted to, like, it's not specifically food, although food is a big part of what we do too. Yep. I think the hospitality thing though is what really drives and motivates us. Clinton and I both are just like, it's this unique place that you can be when you're working in a restaurant and you're in charge of making sure everybody else is having fun. You're like constantly day in, day out, the host of the party and working to make sure everybody has a good time. And somehow you end up having a good time at the same time. And the longer you work in restaurants, the harder it is to leave it, because you just get so hooked on that feeling of every day. My job is to make sure people have fun. And how could you not enjoy that? I don't know. So it's, I've been working in restaurants for a really long time. Even in high school, I washed dishes for a long time. And it's like, there's a lot of, dirty, crummy jobs. There's a lot of challenge and it's difficult. And like you said, you end up devoting a lot of your time and energy to it, but the rewards are definitely worth it. So yeah.
Is this your first restaurant
that I've owned? Yes.
Yeah. And you've been in it in some capacity since teenager?
Yeah, I went to school, to university, so I wasn't in restaurants then. But once I was done university, I started bartending to pay the bills while I look for work in my industry. And then I just never
left. Yeah, I know. A handful of my friends are like, man, bartending's a really good gig. And now that I've been here for 6 years, I know every aspect of the business, and I'm going to become a GM or own it. Some of them turn to chefs. I like that you corrected me and said not food, but hospitality. Food is a part of it, but the banner, the umbrella that everything is under is essentially caring for other human beings, letting them, providing an environment, providing a space for them to come in and really enjoy themselves, whether it's from the service, the cocktails, the food, the ambiance, the whole environment. It seems like is designed for me to enjoy myself the moment I walk in.
Well, yeah, and all those things are true. As there's so many little touch points that people experience your product as a restaurant, and it's from the Instagram post all the way to the the watermark on the dish, to the cleanliness of the bathroom, or if you got takeout, like how is it packaged? Is it still hot? How does it travel? Is it spilled all over the bag? There's all sorts of like little details, and I just love it. It's constant problem solving, but with the end goal of pleasing people. It's kind of neat and unique in that way.
It's one of my favorite parts about entrepreneurship. I think sometimes we can become, I think a lot of entrepreneurs are perfectionists, and I don't look at perfectionism as a strength, really. I think it stops me a lot of times. So, I think a lot of us work on that, but you have an environment that you can control. So you really can make this space on earth, essentially your own, an extension of you, your ideas, your thoughts, your passions, your emotions, and all that, and let people experience it and come through it. You can control every aspect from, is it a boxed restaurant or is it curved? The paint on the walls, to the floors, to how we're dressed, to the badge on the shirt, to the music, to the smells, to the everything, which is this great experiment. Sometimes I think of myself as like a mad scientist in a lab. Like, what am I going to do this week? How am I going to spiff this up? What am I going to remove? What was the winners over the last month? What was the losers? Remove those, double up on the winners, and see how much joy I can bring somebody. That's a fantastic thing, that you just have this idea, you've materialized it into reality, and people are enjoying themselves so much so that they're willing to spend their hard-earned money to tap out for a moment, to relax, to decompress, and come back. That's a testament to that person's idea, creativity, and love for what they do. It's my favorite thing about entrepreneurship, really, because if I didn't do that, the amount of work we put into this lifestyle is nuts. It's all consuming. And I imagine it's the same for most people like yourself. Pivoting a little bit, myths and misconceptions. This is one of those education points. I think, broken telephone is a thing with us humans. We hear a buddy that says it, and then it just becomes real, doesn't get fact checked. And then we walk around for maybe 10, 20, 50 years with this idea as this is the thing. Like when my parents were growing up, fat is bad for you. I still hear people in my family, nutritionists, fitness background, before I got into marketing and advertising. It's still my life, but it was my profession back then. I share with them the value of fat, quality fats, how they're part of every cell, organ in your brain, eyes, etc. And they're still carrying around those myths and misconceptions, which have led to obesity, which has led to all kinds of organ damage. So that is just one example of a horrible myth gone tragically wrong. So when it comes to the restaurant industry, I imagine there are myths and misconceptions out there. And considering how unique you guys are, it doesn't seem like there's another example out there of you. So I can't compare it to something. Any misconceptions that you've identified maybe about Bespoke Kitchen and Market that you could clarify for us?
Yeah, I think our model and the way we've approached it is both a gift and a curse. I think that sometimes people think we just do takeout, or maybe they've seen Pierogi Plus on Uber Eats and they think that's all we are, or they dine in with us, they enjoy the B-side bar menu, and they don't realize they could get a great takeout at home. So I think we work hard to kind of break those barriers down. A big challenge for us is getting people away from those third-party sites, Uber Eats, Skip the Dishes, DoorDash, because they take an arm and a leg to offer their services. So we're trying to trying to educate people as much as possible that, you can get the same quality service and experience from us, and actually better, because we offer better prices, better service if you order direct from us. So we try and work really hard at that. And I think that's the hardest part is people. It's so different. People sometimes get confused. They think it's too much, or they just don't understand what's going on. So education is a really big part of what we have to work on as a group.
Sounds like you need a marketer, Chris.
Maybe.
Humble plug there. But so I think I'm starting to understand it a little bit more, especially I was starting to get this point at the beginning, but I think you just nailed it for me. So Pierogi Plus, it shows up as Pierogi Plus, not Pierogi Plus by Bespoke Kitchen and Market. It looks like its own separate thing. If
you're on Uber Eats, as far as Uber Eats is concerned, we have 4 restaurants. They all have the same address, but they're all different brands. So that's Pierogi Plus, Bespoke Bowls, Bangers, Gourmet Franks, and Bootleg Taco. They're different brands. They have their own look and feel and different menus. But when you're on our site, bespokekitchen.com, you get all of them in one.
So, but if I, for whatever reason, I don't do Uber Eats at all, but many people do. Most of my people do. So if I'm craving pierogies, I find it on there. It says Pierogi Plus, and that becomes my thing that I'm just ordering for 6 months. It becomes my once a week treat. I don't actually know that I've been ordering from Bespoke Kitchen and Market this whole time. Unless I go to your website or something.
Yeah, so we've worked on trying to, again, that education piece. So we've changed from branding it uniquely to showing that it's an umbrella. So the bag has Bespoke on it with the sub brands on it, as sort of like an indication of like it is its own thing, but it's also part of a bigger group.
Yeah, love it. Pivoting to you a bit, my man. Rapid fire questions, quick answers. 5 things that put a smile on your face, man. What lights you up?
5. Well, am I allowed to say family?
Absolutely. That's a given. That's why we said 5, because you're going to say family and business, and then we need 3 personal ones.
Got it. Yeah, I would say for sure. Like I love hanging out with my son. He's 8, going to be 9 soon, and he's my best bud. So yeah, definitely a big part of me right now. But family in general as well. Yeah, I would trying to get personal and not be, the usual business and family, I guess. Well, I would say part of the business that I really enjoy is exploring food and beverage, not just our own, but all the options that are out there, and then trying to take little pieces and make it our own. But
so actually going out there, sampling different things, constantly on the hunt. Yeah, cool.
Yeah. When I grew up, food was like my parents are both super plain eaters. I grew up in Sault Ste. Marie. It's not exactly the trendiest place on earth. Things kind of stay stale for years and years there. So that's one of the reasons I rushed out. But so exploring the world and culinary in particular was just not something you could do there. And when I escaped, as I'd say, I made an effort to try and bring those boundaries down and kind of explore. So like trying to really see what's out there, and there's a lot out there with food and beverage and hospitality and stuff. So I really love exploring that and seeing where my taste buds take me. I used to hate Negronis and gin, and now they're my 2 favorite things. So I'd say that would be number 2. I'm a golfer, so I spend a lot of money and time and energy.
It's a strange addiction, that sport, man. Beats me up every time, but I love it.
It's painful. I don't know why I love the pain so much, but I do.
Yeah.
I enjoy that. I play guitar. That's sweet. A good escape. That's a good escape for me.
Yeah.
When I'm feeling like a little rough, we just sit down for an hour and kind of disappear. Love to do that. And I like hosting parties too. I would say that Christmas time, Thanksgiving, all opportunities to, like, at home, to make drinks for people or cook, or, build a charcuterie board and hang around and play some dice or whatever. I love doing shit like that. So
hospitality is in your nature then. Oh, you could swear for sure. We just try to minimize the F-bombs, but
got it.
We've a few times. So hospitality is in you. You like bringing joy to other people.
It's a win-win because it brings joy to me. So
yeah, awesome, man. Hardships. So I have all my rules for life inked on my skin, so they look at me every day, especially when I'm having a shit day. It's like, oh yeah, you made this commitment. They're right there. And one of them, number 4, is do hard things. Why do I say that? I mean, I'm pretty sure you already have the answer to it, as I think most of us understand it. But I still think we don't talk about it as much. And I think there's a lot of value in getting out of your comfort zone. I think growth comes from discomfort. I think not just humans, the whole planet, like, the strongest trees have been battered. And you could argue that about many things in life. And the easier your life has been, it seems like the harder it gets. There's this great line that we have on the team here. Stole it. Most of the things that have really made a difference in my life, stolen. But it's hard choices, easy life, easy choices, hard life. Like if I'm constantly giving in to temptation, that's an easy choice. I'm going to pay that bill at some point, and it's probably going to be bad. Or if I decide I'm going to the gym today, 4:00, it's cold, it's shitty, I have a headache, I don't want to go, got my ass kicked in work, I'm going to be bettered from that. Probably going to be a release, very cathartic, and I'm going to move my body into a place it hasn't been before, and it's going to grow. In the most real sense, physiologically speaking, if you want to grow a muscle and get stronger, you must take it to a place of discomfort. You must feel that pain and take it to a place it hasn't been before. So that's fact. Whether it's true about the mind or not, it seems to be so. It's certainly been that way for me, but I'm not a neuroscientist, so I can't say. Not going to get into neuroplasticity and all that stuff on this show. But hardships, man, entrepreneurship is tough. And I think especially on social media, we talk about the shiny things of life. We even edit our photos to make them look better, to please other people. And I think a lot of it is fake. And then you go on the news and you get the opposite end of the spectrum, where it's like, if it bleeds, it leads, right? Really salacious shock therapy essentially really gets you engaged because it's just horrible in so many cases. But when I look at it as a human, like, I don't think I'd appreciate the light without the dark. So going through COVID, there was a lot of benefits in there for me. I think a lot of people are afraid to say that, but huge benefits, huge benefits for me. And then there were some negatives. And entrepreneurship, major negatives, huge benefits. So we love to ask the guests on the show because they all say the same thing essentially. And that is the point of all of this, is when people hear the answer to this, they're like, yeah, maybe I should celebrate the painful parts of my life a little bit more. And that pain isn't necessarily a negative. That is subjective. It can be a positive. It can be a negative. It's how you view it. It's not objectively bad. Pain in the gym is what you're searching for, and that's a positive. So we love to ask the guests to come on the show. Any trials, tribulations, hardships that you've been through, I'm sure many personal or business, that when you look back in hindsight, you're like, there's no way I would remove this ingredient from the recipe that has become me, because without it, I wouldn't be who I am today.
Yeah. First of all, I love what you're saying there. I fully prescribe to that mentality, the concept of anti-fragility, like what you need to, yeah, it's a great concept, great book. I feel guilty calling anything that's happened in my life a hardship. To be honest, I've been pretty lucky. I'm very privileged. Has it all been easy? Certainly not. I think that if I look inward, though, I definitely spent a good chunk of my early adult life, and even teenage life, being controlled by my fears, and letting those make decisions for me. And by that, I mean avoiding the hardships and making the easy choices, and escaping the challenges through various means, drinking a lot and partying and just trying to ignore responsibility and being a little bit misdirected or just having no direction at all for, a good chunk of time. I think a lot of people go through that, but I definitely, I think I definitely let a lot of my choices be controlled by fear. I think I could have done better earlier. And as I sort of grew up and grew out of that, started reading books like Anti-Fragility and learning about concepts like that, I started to pay a little more attention to how I made choices. I remember vividly one time somebody, a regular at a restaurant I worked at, asked me why I liked being a restaurant manager, working in restaurants. And my honest answer to her was because it's really, really hard for me. I'm a really shy guy. I wouldn't say I'm introverted. I definitely get energy from being with other people, but I'm scared to be on stage and out at the center of attention. And in the restaurant business, you're that a lot, whether you're a server, a bartender, or a manager or owner. So I had to push myself, and doing that every day, a little bit at a time, helped me grow and stop letting fear control me in all sorts of aspects of my life. And it's helped me everywhere. And then ultimately to become a business owner, you have to overcome that fear of what if it fails? What if I'm halfway across the lake and I realize I don't have any energy left, and I have to, the shore is equal distance from in both directions. What happens? That's really friggin' scary. So if you let the fear control you, like you always have, then you won't take the swim and you won't see what's on the other side. So yeah, you have to really push through those difficult moments. And that's, I would say that's the hardship that I would point to if I look inward, and just learning how to not live my life and make decisions controlled by fear.
And you know what, man? Privileged or not, I think it's all relative. I think most of us in Canada, compared to the world, fairly privileged. But I do think it's all relative. And if you're human, unless sociopath or something like that, that I'm unaware of, fear plays a massive role in our lives. And I think no matter what it is, insecurity, feeling of not being good enough, whatever it is, you peel it down, the bottom of that is going to be fear, to me. Certainly what I've learned from delving into psychology. I'm an addictions counselor on the weekend. I've been doing that for a number of years. All of it is about psychology, and all of it comes down to a fear of some sort. So what you just shared, show me 100 people or show me a group of 100 people and 99 of them not having what you just discussed. I think we all struggle with that in a big way. What I'm interested with, though, is some people stay there forever. What made you change, man? What was the thing? Was there a catalyst? Did you just say, fuck it, I'm done with this? What was it?
I wouldn't say there was a single moment. I think it's just, over time, deciding that I'm not good with not taking the plunge. I'm not good with not knowing what's on the other side. And so I have to teach myself. And you make a little decision that's a little bit difficult. You grow a little bit. You learn that you can do it. You learn that the hardest part is really just taking the step, and then the rest, you work through it. And I think one of the biggest conversations I was having, with my family, with my wife, and with my business partner when we were first getting ready to go is, I think the thing that gives me the most confidence to be able to overcome that and take that first step is just, I've taught myself that I can rely on myself to get out of trouble and to work through it and to problem solve and to have the strength to deal with it. Because once you're in it, you don't have a choice. You have to overcome those problems. And I've learned just by taking those little steps along the way that I can do that. And so I don't know what's going to happen. It's still a big risk. Bad things could happen. It could still all crumble at any moment. But I believe in myself and my ability to problem solve through that.
What a feeling that is, eh? I just don't know if there's many. I just don't know if there's a more potent feeling for an individual to walk around with, knowing that whether people are with me, whether they're not with me, I'm capable of doing this. I've done things like this before in one way or another. I'll get through it. Man, that's just an unstoppable mindset. Appreciate you sharing that, man. I think a lot of people would resonate with that. I think there's going to be a good fraction of people who aren't there yet, that maybe what you just said will help them get there. And then I think there's another group of people that are like, that's exactly what I did, and it changed my life. I never looked back. And that's why we asked that question, man. It's an emotional one. Countless times, teared up myself every time I share my story. Busted both my legs, late 20s, led to pain medication, led to dependency, spiraled down badly. That's what led me to developing the skills that I have now to be a counselor on the weekend at an addictions facility, my way of giving back, and kind of being what I needed for me back then type of thing. But that was all just being unsatisfied with mediocrity, knew that there was something more there. And like you said, these little tiny steps, like get up before 10 a.m. was a step for me at one point. And now, I'm a 4:30, 5 a.m. type of guy. Not to boast. It was just, that was something I wanted, because I constantly was told that the morning hours are the glory hours of the day, that you can get so much done in that piece. And I thought, at least I'll figure it out for myself. And once I got there, I never left. Pivoting a back bit to your business. You said you didn't like being on stage, but this is the picture that I paint. You got a couple hundred people in the crowd. You're on stage. They give you the mic for 30 seconds, 60 seconds, 90 seconds, whatever it is, short period of time, really concise. What do you want to tell the audience about you, your partner, Clinton, Bespoke Kitchen and Market? What do they need to know? What do you want to tell them, man?
I hate doing the elevator pitch thing.
but
No, you're right. I should get better. I should have some sort of polished answer to this question. But I think I would just highlight similar things to what I was talking about earlier. If you want to know about our business, there's a lot of different ways to experience it. But I think at the end of the day, our goal is to deliver a feeling of hospitality, like we took care of you. And we try to do that through the food, through the beverages, through the cocktails, through the atmosphere, through the way that you receive our product at home. And you can have great food, you can have great drinks, you can enjoy company in a great atmosphere without breaking the bank, and without, feeling that like stuffy pretense, and without, all the overhead, icky feelings. Like you could just have fun, enjoy it, and explore, and see what you can get out of it.
Yeah, I'm going to come back for sure. I'm going to bring the team. I need to experience this. It's right down the street. Awesome. So close. And that'll be the last part here. How can people get in touch? You said Collier Street. What's the address? What's the website? How do we connect, man?
Yeah. So it's 55 Collier Street. We're right across the street from City Hall. So nice downtown spot. In the summer, we had a patio with some lights, so you can see us that way. But so that's definitely the best way to enjoy, because you can get all of it if you're dining in with us. But if you want to eat at home, then bespokekitchen.com. You click order now, and you can see everything that's there. But also on the website, there's nice pictures, and you can sort of explore what you like, and find what you need there. So those are the two best ways to find us, definitely.
Bespokekitchen.com.
Yeah.
And for the listeners, that's BSPOKE kitchen.com.
Yeah.
Awesome, Chris. I love this conversation. Even though we were talking about a restaurant, again, it happens every time. We end up talking about life. We end up talking about people. We end up talking about that real shit. That's what we want to do on here. And you've been super forthcoming. Love your story. I love the uniqueness. Definitely going to come by. I would strongly suggest other people to just give it a try. I'm going to. Never been there before. Never eaten food like this before, but that's the whole point. Let's go give it a try. Everybody listening is in part of this community. There's Simcoe County. We're not talking to people in Europe, although maybe they're listening. But we're talking about Simcoe County here. Support your small businesses. Come give new things a try. You never know what could happen. Come meet Chris and the team. But it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure chatting with you, man. Again, appreciate the vulnerability you bring. It's just been awesome.
Same. I'll echo that sentiment. It was really, really nice conversation. Wasn't sure what to expect, but had a good time. Haven't really shared the story in that way in a while. So it's sort of nice to talk about, to remind myself, why am I doing this? It's something that you can get lost in the weeds pretty easily, right? With life and business and everything else. So yeah, it's good to get back to it sometimes and just refresh your memory on what's cool about it and why you did it.
I appreciate you saying that, because as business owners, we're either working in the business or on the business, but those fundamental questions that we asked at the beginning of our journey to figure out the things that we needed to figure out, all of a sudden, like, I'm 10 years in. I stopped asking those questions, and I kind of just got in like automation mode. And it was just, here's the structure, no white space in my day, time block everything. And now it's just get through the day to do the things that you need to do. I need to check off my to-do list. And then all of a sudden I'm on a podcast or somebody's interviewing me and they're like, why do you do this? I'm like, holy shit, man, it's been 5 years since I've even thought of that question and how powerful it was. And we find that from a lot of business owners that come on. I haven't shared my story in ages. I haven't thought about why I'm doing this in 7 years because I've been in business for 10. Really appreciate you saying that, man. And until I come by, which I will be, I say that on the podcast all the time, and then I do it. We'll bring the team by. You have a great afternoon, man.
Thanks a lot. You too. Thanks. We'll see you soon.
Bye-bye. Shit. Apparently my outro has been removed. We're going to have to cut this part. Okay, I think we're good. There we go.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpwithjeffandsean.com. That's gnpwithjeffandsean.com or call 705-413-3775.